I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, I've experienced success like never before. Got an email here from a viewer. He says, "Hey Coach, firstly a huge, sincere thank you. With the tools you provide in your book and videos, I have experienced success with women on a level I never knew possible. That's why I always say, even if you think I'm totally full of shit, just apply what I teach, and this is the kind of results you'll get. My work speaks for itself." He says, "I've gone from basically chasing women out of my life to now seeing the most intelligent, attractive, affectionate, successful, funny, positive, and overall amazing woman. My top 10 girl. It still astounds me to hear things like, I can't get enough of you, I can't believe I met you, you blow my mind, I've never felt like this about anyone before, etc. My question is related to maintaining the attraction in a long-term relationship, specifically how to remain a mystery challenge long-term and how to continue to build anticipation. Recently, without being aware, I started to become a little complacent. It happens to all of us." He says, "I noticed her interest level drop in the space of half a day from upwards of 90% to somewhere between 61 to 70%. It surprised me that this could happen so quickly, going from in the morning to hearing 'I love you, I hope we are like this forever' to cold, distant, no eye contact, and maintaining physical distance early in the afternoon." Well, like I say in my book, you got to look at women. They're emotional beings, and just sometimes just feelings come over them, and they get bitchy, they get irritable, they get upset, but especially when you do something to act weak. Now, here's the key. It's like when a woman starts acting that way, if she's ever being nasty to you to where the point where her bitchiness is like bitching at you instead of just expressing herself, maybe she's bitching about some girl at work or something she's upset about. But the key is if you like want to talk to your girlfriend, you say, "Is this something we want to talk about? You want me to listen, or do you want my advice?" And let her tell you. It's like, "I just want you to listen." I say, "Okay." And if you ever feel during the conversation like she's looking at you and she's projecting this kind of hatred that she's expressing, like almost it's directed at you, and you just stop her. You say, "Baby, I'm happy to listen to you, and I want you to express your feelings and your emotions, whatever's going on, but just don't project the anger and the hatred on me. You can share it with me, but don't project it at me, because sometimes when you say it, it feels like you're directing it at me, and it's not appropriate. And I'm happy to listen, but be sweet to me, be charming to me. Don't be an asshole." And just get her, just say, continue. Get her to, and she'll apologize, say, "I'm sorry." But if you just sit there and you take it and you let her be bitchy to you and you just let her walk all over you, she starts to feel like you're not man enough to stand up to her, and that you will allow her to treat you like a doormat. Now, this one of the things that's important about this is when you sit there, you stand there, and your girl starts being condescending or being rude, and you sit there and take it, and you don't stand up for yourself, because any man that has self-respect, he's not going to grovel at anybody. He's not going to take any bullshit from his girlfriend or wife when she's treating him inappropriately. He's going to stand up to her. He's going to say, "Hey, I love you, honey, but don't talk to me that way." It's important to understand that, because like if a woman starts to lose respect for you, she will fall out of love with you. And so when you get lazy, you get complacent, or you express weakness, or you say something that makes you look really weak, it's going to happen. You'll see that it'll change the way she perceives you. Just the body language, the look in her eye, the things she says to you. I mean, it's just amazing. It's like, boom. I mean, it'll turn on a dime. And like, the thing about being in a relationship with a woman is that they're always are looking for the chink in your armor, so to speak. Not because it's a bad thing, but because they're there to help you grow and become the best man that you're capable of being. And so when a woman senses or notices weakness in her man, she's going to point it out, because it's going to make her feel uncomfortable. And if you don't deal with it, it will cause her to move out of her feminine energy and into her masculine energy, and she won't like that, because women don't want control in the relationship. They want the man to handle things. They want to just show up, look hot, and have a good time, and let you take care of the details. And so that's something to consider. If her interest dropped, then it's obviously, I would say it's probably something you did or something you said. You know, maybe she was in a shitty mood and you just sat there and took it, or maybe a clerk treated you harshly in a store, and you just sat there and took it because you were afraid of creating a scene. If somebody talks to me inappropriate, I'm going to stand up for myself. I don't grovel to nobody. I ain't going to take shit from fucking no one, because I don't have to. And so it's important, even if it's nothing going on between you and her, if she sees you acting weak with another person or not standing up for yourself, she's not going to like that. And that can cause a woman to act bitchy or become grumpy when when just a little while before she was sweet and charming and all over you, saying, "Oh, I hope you'll always be that way." He says, it surprised me. Okay, so he says, I saw what was happening. I made a point of being indifferent to her actions towards me, not chasing her and waiting for her to make the next contact. Because sometimes she's just going to feel a little bitchy, and you always want to be the mountain. You never want to let anything a woman does or says get under your skin, get you fucking pissed off, or make you feel insecure, because when you do that, you're basically communicating that she said something that diminished you, and you got all butthurt like a little 5-year-old about it. And when she senses that, she's not going to like that kind of a weakness. Women want to be able to trust your masculine core, and when they're able to say something and push your buttons and get under your skin, there's a wise person once said to me, no one will ever do or say anything to you that you don't invite them to do. And so if you act weak, you're inviting flakiness, you're inviting bitchiness, you're inviting grumpiness. And the reason that it's showing up in your relationship is because your girl wants you to be strong, not act weak. And the reason that she acts that way is because you're acting weak. And it makes her feel fearful and like she can't trust your masculine core. And where she was just totally open to you emotionally and happy-go-lucky and loving you and adoring you and thinking you're the most amazing thing in the world, when you express weakness, it causes her to shut down to you emotionally because she doesn't trust your masculine core, and it causes her to start to protect her heart, basically, because she becomes afraid that she may get hurt emotionally in the relationship. So he says, things are back on track now after a week where I'm starting to raise her interest level again. He says, I've seen this all as a good opportunity to hopefully learn something out of it. The other thing you got to understand is sometimes women get a little bored of you. And they're like I talk about in my book, they're kind of like cats, and they go off and they roam the neighborhood. And that happens after you maybe went on a long trip together, and you notice that she's not as appreciative, she's not as affectionate, and she's not as warm as she was when you first went away. And that's why you just back off and let her have a little bit of space, and then that's why you just go back to being focused on your purpose in life. And then as soon as she starts missing you a few hours later, or 24 hours later, she's going to call you or text you, and then she'll be right back to where she was before. But the key to remember, what I see most that guys do wrong in long-term relationships is they stop doing the things that cause the girl to fall in love with them in the first place. That is, the courtship never ends. It doesn't stop just because you're in a relationship or because you're married or you've got 3 kids together. You should always be romancing your girl and making her feel special and making her feel loved by going on dates. Typical guy that's having problems with his wife or there's cheating going on is because he stopped dating her. And you always have to date and spend time together. The family that plays together stays together. The couple that plays together stays together. But if you stop playing together and you stop having fun and instead you fight and you bitch and you bicker with one another, instead of making her feel good every time she's around you, now you're making her feel bad, and a woman wants to feel good. And so over time, if all you do is make her feel bad emotionally when you're around her because you neglect her and you don't take her out and you don't romance her and you don't take the time to listen to her like you once did when you first got together and fell in love, then maybe the guy at work or the guy that she knows that she's friends with in the coffee shop who does like her and is interested in her and wants to take the time to listen to her, whenever she's around that guy, he makes her feel good, and when she's around you, you make her feel bad, and so she's naturally over time going to gravitate towards who makes her feel the best, and that's how affairs happen. It slowly happens over time, but that's the best thing you can focus on. Also, making sure she's doing 70 to 80% of the calling, texting, and pursuing is essential. You gotta even something women will say, no, I don't like it when the man chases me. It's like bullshit. I don't care what they say. The bottom line is they respond emotionally to what they respond to, and a lot of women don't get that. They'll say they want one thing, and then they go out with a guy that treats them exactly the way they want to be treated, and they blow him off. And they call the phone and they blow up the guy that they can never get a hold of, and he's difficult. And they hardly ever see him, and he doesn't really talk about his emotions and his feelings like the average guy does, and they can't figure him out. And they say things like, there's just something about him. I can't figure this guy out. He's so mysterious. And it drives her nuts, and yet she always wants to be with him. And she'll choose that guy every time over the Mr. Nice Guy who never gets anywhere. So he says, So the key is to remember to you is that now you're in a long-term relationship, is that always got to date her. And if you're, even if you're married or whatever, and you've got busy with kids and career and all that, at least twice a month. Get a babysitter, take her someplace that's fun, take her to dinner, don't tell her where you're going, tell her to dress hot, or like what I like to do every once in a while is go, there's a dress store called Cachet. They make the fucking best dress. If your girl's got a great fucking body, they make the best, sexiest looking evening dresses, and it's a couple $100. You can get a nice one. It's not something you do all the time, just like for something special. Once or twice a year, you wrap one up in a box, you know her dress size, and just women love that. And then go someplace, take her someplace, it's a surprise, like maybe to a bed and breakfast or something for the weekend, to where she can strut her stuff in that and look hot, and you can tell her how beautiful and how sexy she looks in it. And then when you get back to your hotel later, you can slowly take it off, maybe get her something from the Victoria's Secret and make her look hot. It's fun to do things like that. It's not all the time, it's every once in a while to do those kinds of things. Or take her to a new restaurant. Don't go to the same fucking restaurant all the time and do the same kinds of dates every week. It's be mysterious, surprise her. Take some time to do some research. I mean, with smartphones now, with Google Apps, you can just Google sushi restaurant, and every sushi restaurant around you will come up, or Italian restaurant, or healthy eating, or whatever it happens to be. Murder mystery restaurants, the type where you go and they have food and there's like a murder mystery and everybody works together to solve it. I mean, there's so many things that you can do. Miniature golf, bowling. You can Google all that stuff now, and it'll give you directions right to go there. And it'll take you 5 minutes, and she loves you because she thinks you went out of your way to plan this big elaborate date, and all you really do is look at like Google, and it makes you look awesome, like you got this personal assistant. It's the fucking best way to go. Work smarter, not harder. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several weeks to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session, and you can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read my book on. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, or my ebook, you can show your appreciation right now by going to my website, and on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.